There are 5 things that I wish I knew before I retired and before I moved abroad. Welcome to Melanin Man Travels, your passport to freedom, fulfillment, and financial independence awaits you. We're breaking barriers, building legacies, one journey at a time. Are you ready to level up your life and write your own global success story? Let's go. Welcome back, family. And for those of you who are not family yet, because you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Kevin, and this is Melanin Man Travels. Melanin Man Travels is committed to educating single black men and gay black men on retiring early, traveling the world, and living abroad. If this sounds like something that you're interested in, then please stay tuned. For those of you who have been following my channel, you know that I've been retired for a while and that I've been living abroad for about a year now. There are 5 things that I wish I knew before I retired and before I moved abroad. So let's get into them. Number 1. I wish I knew that I didn't need as much money to live around the world as that I did need in my home country, specifically Los Angeles, California. 3 areas are of importance here: rent, food, and medicine or medical care. Now, rent in Los Angeles is astronomical. And I must say, when I was a renter there, I got a pretty good deal. For a 2-bedroom apartment about 4 years ago, I was paying $1,600 a month, which you probably couldn't even find today and was pretty low then. Prior to me renting, I owned a condo, and that mortgage was about $2,000 a month. What I pay now in Guadalajara, Mexico, for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment with a balcony and an office overlooking a beautiful park, if we're counting today's exchange rate, which is almost 20 to 1, I pay about $900 a month. I live in a great neighborhood filled with Mexican locals. I have great restaurants around. I have a couple of stores and about 3 pharmacies within walking distance. So life is pretty good here, especially for the amount of money that I'm paying. Guadalajara and Mexico in general is not the only place that you can get affordable accommodations. I can pay just as much money here or even more than I would have been paying in the US. But there are other places around the world that I've been, like Cape Town, South Africa, where I can find something amazing and affordable for the $700, $800, $900 range. Valencia, Spain, where I stayed in an Airbnb, and the owner owned a 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment with 2 balconies, a full kitchen in the dining room, in an amazing area right next to the train station, and he paid $1,000 US. So there is affordability around the world. The second thing is food. I have available to me the freshest food that I've ever experienced. There are a lot of mercados in Mexico that have fresh food that come from local growers. Even in the supermarkets, a lot of the produce doesn't have pesticides. The meat here is not filled with hormones. So healthy, quality food is available and at great prices. And again, when I traveled in Europe, when I traveled in South Africa, I experienced the same thing. Now, medicine and healthcare. There's no comparison to what we pay for healthcare and medicine in the United States to what other people pay around the world. Here in Mexico, I have a private doctor who makes house calls. A house call here cost me maybe 60, 70 bucks, depending on the exchange rate, where my doctor comes with an assistant doctor. Generally, a house call will be an hour and a half, and they cover everything. Medicine is relatively inexpensive here, obviously, depending on what you're getting. But I've had that experience around the world as well. Actually, I was in Spain last year, and I did not take enough of a particular medication. I don't know what I was thinking, but that was the case, the situation that I was in. Anyway, this medication cost about $3,200 a month in the US if I was a cash patient without insurance. I went into a pharmacy with my broken Spanish. I talked to the pharmacist, explained the situation, why I needed the medication. I showed him my prescription that was on my phone from my doctor, and asked if he had the medication in stock. He went in the back, he had it in stock, and I only needed like a 10-day supply because I was leaving. So I didn't need a full month supply. He handed me a full bottle, a month supply, and said, "Have a nice day." He didn't even charge me. Again, $3,200 in the US, and a Spanish pharmacist in Spain gave me the same medication, not a generic, because this medication is still under, I think, a patent or whatever, so other manufacturers can't make it yet. So it was made by the same manufacturer, and he gave it to me for free. And I doubt he gave me $3,200 for free. Basically, that means that it doesn't cost as much money in Spain that we are charged in the US. Number 2, embracing a minimalist lifestyle is pure freedom. What is minimalism? Basically, living only with the things that you need. You rid yourself of the excess possessions that are crowding your life. You gain an ability to focus on things that truly matter to you because all of the distractions of the stuff is gone. Once I embraced this type of lifestyle, I stopped frivolously shopping, going out and just buying clothes and trinkets because I thought they were cool. I stopped buying things because I thought that I would need it in the future. This lifestyle has not only freed my mind, but it has also freed my pocket. Can you imagine the money that I was able to start saving and investing? Here's a phrase for you. Acquiring requires. Think about it. Acquiring stuff requires stuff. So what does acquiring require? Time. A bigger house requires more time to clean it and more time to maintain it. A lot of clothes requires a lot of time to wash them and take care of them. Physical energy. This extra energy that you're exerting could be used to do other things that you like. Or here's a concept. How about rest? Mental resources. Now, you may not realize this, but having a lot of stuff causes you to feel overwhelmed and anxious. I gotta clean my room. I gotta clean my closet. Where's all this stuff gonna go? These are questions that we have that we think are benign, but they're really not. And space. The more stuff you have, the more space you need to store it. Like using that extra bedroom as a closet? Do we really need that much stuff? Finally, money. All of this stuff will continue to require more and more finances. So the phrase less is more is truly a life hack that I am grateful to live by. The third thing that I wish I knew before I retired and moved abroad is that I didn't need anyone's approval. I just needed a plan. I'm a single adult and I make my own decisions. But a lot of times we often wonder, what will so-and-so think about what I'm doing? What about my cousin, my mother, my daughter, whomever? I had to learn two things. One, I had to stop caring about what other people thought because their thoughts are none of my business. Two, I had to stop telling people my plans. Why? Because my plans are none of their business. In retirement, I've had to make a lot of adjustments to my plans. I had to stop planning around a bunch of what ifs, such as, what about my house? Will my kids want it? They may want it, they may not want it. Like recently when I had to sell all of my furniture, which was practically new, and both of my sons had recently moved into new places to live, and neither one of them wanted my furniture. So who's to say that they'll want my house in the future? Will I be able to actually see my kids and my grandkids? Of course I will. Planes fly every single day and in both directions. Adult children are building their own lives. They are building their own families. They have other priorities. Living abroad gives my family and your family a reason and a place to visit. So I can't make all of my plans solely around my kids. Now, I'm not saying don't take your children and your family and your loved ones into consideration when you are planning for retirement and or planning to move abroad. When your children decide to marry or decide to buy a house or move away, are you a sole factor in their decision-making process? So, remember, you have one life and you have to live it. Living conservatively does not mean living cheap. Because I no longer spend flippantly, I can keep a nice savings account. This can help me during an emergency, which I highly recommend having an emergency fund that's liquid so that you can get to that money when a situation arises. However, these saved funds have allowed me to live the life of my dreams. If I want to pop back to the US and see family and friends, I don't really have to think about it. I check my calendar and I can book a flight. If I want to take a cruise, if I want to go explore a new city, I'm able to do so. My life goal now is not to acquire stuff, but to gain new experiences. Here is the fifth and final thing that I wish that I understood clearly before I entered into retirement. That is that I had fully discovered what my purpose in this second stage of my life would have been. I've done this now, and I am more clear than ever on where I want my life to take me. And guess what? My purpose will continue to evolve and become more and more clear as I follow this journey. The key is to have a starting place. So, I recommend for you to take some time away. Why don't you go to a park? Take a walk on the beach. Sit quietly with yourself. Turn off your cell phone. Gaze up into the sky. What are those things that you truly love that you don't get the opportunity to do regularly or at all? Why don't you write those things down? Then go and research how you can pursue them in your second stage of life. If time and money were not a factor. Trust me, you'll be able to pursue them. Here are two of mine. One, I love education and I love human development. So I use YouTube to educate and to encourage the masses on how they can improve their lives. Number two, I'm very, very inquisitive. I like to see how different people live around the world. Now, what are you going to do to make your retirement plans easier and more clear? Are you going to scale back on your spending? Are you going to save more? Are you going to start investing? Write out and meditate on your plan. These are all good starts. Now it's time for you to take action. Will you do it? I certainly hope so. Now, I have a bonus wish for you. I wish that I had known that I would have to retrain my brain and my body to no longer live under the hustle and grind mentality that I learned from corporate America. I'm so grateful that in this second stage of life, this new journey that I'm on, that I no longer have to rush to get things done or cram them all into a short weekend. I can breathe easy and get things done at my leisure. Is this something that you want? I bet you do. Thanks for watching this video. Next week, we're going to talk about the amount of money that you need to have saved for retirement. To make sure that you join us, why don't you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell to make sure that you get your reminder. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Remember, bring your pencil and your paper next week. Retirement school is in. See you then.